Hi, I'm Anupa and I welcome you to Sanjeev Kapoor Khazana. What am I going to show you now? I'm going to show you a lovely mutton dish. Very popular, and I'm surprised how come I haven't done this recipe till now. And it is Palak Gosht. Simple, but the process is even simpler and the taste is divine. So what are we waiting for? Let's quickly run through the ingredients. Spinach or palak, mutton on the bone, chopped tomatoes, chopped onions, yogurt, tomato puree, ginger, cinnamon, cumin powder, black cardamom, coriander powder, garlic, butter, green cardamom, salt, green chillies and oil. So to begin with, I have got a pressure cooker in which I am going to cook this together, and so I will start off by taking in some oil, and in the oil I am going to add in some whole spices. So we will add one black cardamom followed by cinnamon, green cardamom. All these whole spices have its own essential oils, and when it is subjected to heat, it emits a lot more of it, and that is why it is always important to either dry roast your spices or at least saute them in oil for a little longer time. So as I can see, the green cardamom is swollen up, and I can also get the flavor of cinnamon. The flavor of cinnamon is always sweet. If you actually chew into a piece of cinnamon, you will first get a hint of sweetness, and of course then follows the pungency of the spice. So here goes in the whole spices. Now in this I am going to add chopped onions. So after we add in the onions, just saute them up till they brown, and while the onion is browning, we've got some more prep to do here. We've got some ginger, garlic and green chilies which we need to grind to a fine paste. So here goes in the garlic, followed by some green chilies. Let's make it spicy, and ginger, we'll just need to slice it up roughly. You don't need to add any water at this stage. Okay, so my paste is done. So the onion is nice and golden, and now to this let's add the ginger, garlic and green chili paste. Spicy, huh? But this gravy, which is Palak Gosht, is not very smooth. Huh? It is slightly chunky. So even if some spices are not ground well, don't bother. It will get cooked with the mutton. Mutton is still quite a tougher meat as compared to chicken. Takes longer. So ginger and garlic, in case if it's slightly whole, it will get cooked. Don't worry. Let's add in some powder spices. Here I have some coriander powder, some cumin powder, and again give it a mix. Now at this stage we'll add in some mutton, but before the mutton goes in the tomatoes. The best part about red tomatoes is that it is not sour, it is sweet. So you can use as much as you want, it will not impart any tartness to the gravy. And after you add in the tomatoes, what do? Yes, we add in salt. Okay, now remember one thing very important here is that spinach is a vegetable which has its salt, as in it is a salty vegetable. So when you make anything with spinach, whether it is palak paneer or any palak dal like palak gosht or palak chicken, put less salt in the gravy, because spinach leaves by itself a slightly salty, and it will impart its flavor also to the gravy. So I'm not going to add more salt now. So whatever that I had to add, I've added it to the tomatoes, and I'll let this cook. You see this, the minute that I added salt, the tomatoes have gone absolutely limp, because it has absorbed the salt and it is leaving out its water. And tomatoes always cook faster after adding salt. So the tomatoes are almost done. What I am going to do now is I am going to add in the mutton. So here I have lovely, nice, cleaned on the bone mutton pieces. Nicely sear the mutton with the masala. No need to add water at this stage. We yet have to add the spinach. So while we chop the spinach, let the mutton get seared and try and do this on high heat, or else the mutton will leave its water. So I have lovely spinach leaves here with me, nicely cleaned. There are two ways of doing this Palak Gosht. One is where you can actually blanch the spinach and puree it and use it in the gravy, or you can do what I am doing. I prefer it this way because this is the home style cooking of Palak Gosht. What I am going to do is I am just going to chop it roughly. Needs a little more searing. What I have here is some canned tomato puree as well, which I am going to add to this. Okay, so now that we have seared the mutton well, let's add in the spinach. It looks quite a bit, but now we are going to actually cook this. This is all covered with spinach. Where is the mutton? It's right down there. And now after we mix this, you will see that the spinach is gone. Let's do it. You see, it's going, it's going. It's almost gone. There's hardly anything there. So when we added the spinach, it was this much. Now it's just this much. But this much is good enough for this entire 4 portions of Palak Gosht. But now you have to cook this well without adding in any water. But the best thing that I like to do at this stage is add in a little bit of butter. Here I have some butter, just add this in. It will give the gravy a nice smoothness and will definitely enhance the flavor. Just mix it up. And butter also has enough salt, so I don't think we'll ever need to add some salt to this. However, we'll once check before we place the lid if the salt is sufficient, and in case if we need to adjust it, we can surely put a little more there and then just let this cook. If the mutton is nice and fresh, it won't take too long. About 3 whistles will be sufficient enough for the mutton to cook. If you are not cooking in the pressure cooker, what you should do is after you've added everything, place the lid and put it on a low flame. Low heat is good enough for the mutton to cook. This will take at least 40 minutes if you keep it covered. And don't forget to cook this in a heavy bottom pan because the cooking time is more. So the chances of it sticking to the bottom of the pan are quite high. So if you have a nice heavy bottom pan, superb, your Palak Gosht is going to come out amazing. And now there's another thing that you can do. You can add half puree and half chopped, so the color of the palak also changes. So it doesn't stay brown like this with green specks, it's green as well as some green or spinach that you can chew on. So it's up to you, but I like it this way. Like I said, this is a home style recipe of Palak Gosht, for which you don't have to do too much of efforts. It's just simple procedures and your mutton is done. The goodness of spinach is all there in the mutton, and I can see that this is now forming a nice good gravy. You see this? This is all the gravy that is getting formed, and what I see is this is going to be a nice coating kind of a dish. If you want some more gravy to this, then what I suggest is that we can add a little bit of yogurt to this. So I have some yogurt here. I'm going to add just a little bit of that just to give me that extra gravy. A little bit of yogurt is good enough. Again, mix it up. So now let's place the lid, and 3 whistles is good enough for this mutton to cook because it's tender. And after that, what? Just remove it in a lovely serving bowl, serve it with piping hot steamed rice. So steamed rice and Palak Gosht is a brilliant combination. Do it on any day. You don't need to serve it for parties and kitty parties. Yes, you can do it, but you can just do it on any simple day. When you don't want to cook regular sabjis, put this sabji in the gosht, which is palak, into the mutton, and then you have this lovely Palak Gosht. So do try this recipe and let me know how you like it. I am very sure you're going to love it. I am sure you all love our recipes, so to stay connected, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel Sanjeev Kapoor Khazana.